Now, I want you to pay attention to something. Do you see how shiny my barrel is? The exterior portion of my barrel, right? I made sure that even though I haven't cleaned it, right, I make sure I keep it lubricated. Because remember, anything that requires friction or has friction in its movement requires lubrication, right? So, you know how you see some ads where they say, the Glock has been tested in snow and sand, in sleet and crappy conditions, and fire after fire, the Glock still performs. You know, you get those commercials, right? How many people actually test their guns? You know, how many people actually torture test their guns to see if it's really going to do that, right? So you're really just trusting the maker of the gun to see if, in fact, it works. One of the reasons, aside from being doggone lazy, let's talk facts, right? But I know one of the other reasons why I don't clean my gun, so I can let it get really, really, really dirty, so I can try a few things to see if it still is going to perform under the dirtiest conditions that not the environment sometimes, but that I can produce. And one of those dirty conditions are not cleaning my gun. Good. So what, if anything, do I do to make sure that I keep it lubricated without necessarily cleaning it? One of the things that I do is I get the bore snake right here. Okay, as you can see, I'll hold it to the camera. This is the bore snake. You can take a snapshot of this. Okay, it's by Hops. And they got some good cleaning things too. Obviously, you can see that it's 9mm, 357, 38, and 380. Okay, 9mm, 357, 38, and 380. Those are all 9mm bullets. Some are 9mm short, 9mm standard, your 9x19, things like that. The casings obviously vary, but the bullet is all the same. So that's why this can go for all of them. And so what you do with this bore snake, and what I typically do, I get two things. This, and I get the CLP, okay? Now, I've had this for quite a while and actually have used the stuff in here, and so I've actually put more in it. So I'm gonna show you a different can so you can get the name of it. It's Safariland Break Free CLP. And this is the stuff that I used when I was in the military. I know it works. Creatures of habit, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. Sometimes, most of the time that can be good. Sometimes it can be bad because it stops you from learning new things. Okay. But I tend to use CLP. And so with these two things, I like it in the spray bottle form like this, because obviously I can spray it on this bore snake. Okay. Now here you got the little weight, you got the string. Okay. And then you've got the little bristles right here. And then you've got the cloth portion of it. Okay. And I'm going to kind of show you how I use it too. Just a quick clean. We're going to use the 26 because we haven't broken that down. So what I tend to do is I may take a little bit, put it on my finger, okay? Just kind of like this a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll rub it on the barrel just like this, okay? Rub it on the barrel, just get it on there, cycle it through, okay? Just a little bit, maybe rub it right here on the top portion of the actual barrel itself, okay? Right on top of the ejection port. And then I'll take this and I'll press it, squirt it, whatever, right on the feeder ramp, okay? That's typically what I call it, the feeder ramp. And that is this ramp right here that leads the tip of the bullet directly into this hole called the chamber. The chamber is nothing more than a tube where that actual bullet or that actual round of ammunition sits until it's fired, okay, or extracted out of the gun. And I'll put it right there. Let it get a little bit down into the trigger, okay? Because I do want that a little bit, you know, lubricated too. And this is just a quick thing for me. It's worked for me in the field when I was in the military. It's worked for me in law enforcement. And I tend to, you know, in hot situations, I tend to, you know, or when there's a break between situations, and I tend to just go with what works. To each his or her own. I'm sure you probably have your own method. This is not the way. This is just a way. Remember that, okay? And so after, you know, putting a squirt right there on the feeder ramp, let it do its thing. Okay, I mean, get a little bit inside of the chamber. What I'll do is I'll take the weight of this and I'll run it into the magazine well. Let it come out of the ejection port. And then I'll turn the firearm upright and take this, guide it right into the chamber and let it come out of the barrel, okay, out of the muzzle. And then I'll just take this, and this is what I do. I'll take this and I'll pull it through, okay? So watch it. being pulled through. You probably can't see, I don't have my flashlight here, but I'm trying. Here we go. You see it going through, okay? And so I don't pull it all the way out. I put it right here. And then I'll take my hand and then kind of pull it back this way. So that way it can rub up against that feeder ramp, okay? So that way the cloth can really get that stuff off of here. And I'll do it a couple of times like this. Okay, wrap it around. And then just pull it straight through. And then I'll make sure that I inspect it and that I don't see any obstruction on the feeder ramp, okay? And get a flashlight. This will be the only time, one of the few times you would ever look at the muzzle. If the gun, we treat all firearms as though they're loaded. Don't look at the muzzle, okay? But in this case, I need to inspect it, make sure that it's clear on the inside, because you really can't do it from the ejection port. You cannot see all the way through. So I'll take a flashlight, and I don't have it. I hate that I don't have it right here. I'll take a flashlight, flash it like this, or even some type of light object or something. Flashlight works better. And look inside to see if there are any obstructions, and then we'll get back to work. Okay, so that's just a quick way of how I clean it in the field